Good evening. We're coming to you live from the Congress Center here at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where top business leaders, policymakers, heads of state gather to get a sense of the global economy. With me here, Malvinder Singh, who clearly doesn't need an introduction. Malvinder, what are you picking up here this time, both on India and the global economy?
I think if you look at it from a global viewpoint, certainly I think there's a lot more optimism in terms of growth, that this year will be a better year than 2012, and also a lot more focus on emerging markets, a lot of interest in India and in China. So if you look at India, I'm very happy, one, with the various measures that have happened over the last many months from the government, and I certainly hope and believe that those will be carried forward over the next many months. You
don't think the India story has taken a beating? Is that the sense that those were the real fears, because we'd seen a sharp slowdown, we'd seen a lot of policy paralysis. Do you think the interest in India is back?
I think 2012 and 2011, or the last many years, were difficult years globally. 2012, the growth rates in India did go down, but this year I see the growth to be better. I think people themselves believe that, this is the time, and which it has been in my view for a while, to come into India. So my comment to people is, look, stop complaining, stop talking about issues. There are issues everywhere in the world, but different issues. But the opportunity for India far outweigh some of the challenges that we have. We will always have challenges, but you have to understand them, accept them, deal with them, and get on with life, make your investments, and start executing.
All right, so as you can see, plenty of top Indian industrialists, CEOs, business leaders, all here to sell the India story, to talk about the India story. In fact, we've got leaders from around the world. We spoke earlier with well-known Pakistani politician and former cricketer Imran Khan, who spoke about the turmoil in Pakistan as well as the recent Indo-Pak tensions. Let's listen in.
I came here to represent Pakistan, give them an idea where we are headed.
Right.
The highs and the lows, the pessimist view, and mine always the optimistic
one. So share with us the highs and the lows and what you're trying to tell some of the delegates here about Pakistan.
Well, there's no doubt that Pakistan is going through its worst period ever. We have the most incompetent, corrupt government in our history. But at the same time, there's this mass movement for change. The public has decided that they want to change. They do not want to see these old parties again, these old political faces again. And so this movement for change is where the optimism lies. And I believe...
But will that change happen is the question, because we've not seen it happen for the longest time.
Well, we've never had the situation we have had in Pakistan for so long. No civilian government has lasted its full tenure.
Will we see this civilian government lasting its full tenure? Is that history in the making?
Well, it's only 1.5 months left.
Right.
And so therefore I think it will complete its full tenure. And so people have seen them, and all the old political parties are in power, either in center or in provinces.
Right.
And they've seen them in 5 years, and they have decided, the young people of Pakistan have decided that they want to change. So in my opinion, we will have a revolution through the ballot box.
Okay, revolution through the ballot box. So am I talking to Pakistan's next Prime Minister?
Well, I'm an optimist. I always think I'll win. But this time I have a very strong reason to believe that my party will win. And the reason is that there'll be 40 million young voters out of 85 million which will vote for the first time.
Right.
And so this 40 million is this vibrant vote for change, which wants to see a new Pakistan, which is sick of old politics. And this is where our strength lies. And of course, we are the only party that has, the membership is about 10 million. And it's the only party that is holding intra-party elections, which will be the only democratic party in Pakistan's history, where our own members will elect our leadership. The district organizations will, on their recommendations, will give tickets. It's never happened in Pakistan before. And that's the change people want, and the young people.
You've done very well in the popular polls, but what are some of the concerns? I mean, you've of course talked about why you think this change will happen, but what are your concerns?
My concern is that the elections will be heavily manipulated, that big money made through corruption will come into play. The other is that the existing parties are using taxpayers' money to start the election campaigns, and they're throwing in money. So obviously this will be a match. I mean, I see this as the biggest match of my career.
Okay.
On one side will be big money
right.
made through corruption, these old status quo politicians. On the other side will be the passion of the youth. And I reckon that we'll win.
Okay, the biggest match of your career, and you're really hoping you'd win. But let me talk about the ongoing turmoil, the long march that has obviously been making headlines. You didn't join the march in the end.
Well, I agreed with the agenda of Dr. Tahir Qadri, which was for change. He pointed out all the reasons we've been saying for five years.
So then why didn't you join him?
You know, that there's corrupt politicians are a disaster for Pakistan. Whatever we said,
Right.
his agenda and our agenda was the same.
Right.
How to get there was the difference. The strategies were different.
Right.
His strategy was that you cannot bring a change through electoral politics. You have to bring the government down through the long march. My strategy, and the reason why we didn't join, despite so much pressure from my own party, was because we believe that change can come through the elections and remaining within the constitution.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.